I'm a big fan of not trying to win real estate Jeopardy and impress clients with stats and data. Okay, not everyone wants a data grenade lobbed at them anyway, but I want to look at the market and then anticipate who might my future clients be in the next few months or in the next few years. And so here's some ideas I want to go through real quick, and then we'll close it up, maybe have some Q&A. So who has incentive to buy and sell right now? Lifestyle buyers, I would say, are the bulk of the market right now in the Sacramento region. People simply moving because their lifestyle mandates it. And so what happens when a market changes, and whether this change is temporary or if it's a tipping point for the market, we don't know yet. But buyers simply, we have to shift our narrative. And our narrative often in real estate is that prices are going up. It's a great time to buy. And when a market changes, it gives us pause and it forces us to find new ways to talk about the market. So talk about buyers who have incentive to buy regardless of what prices are doing. First-time buyers are still playing the market. Probably not a big issue in Davis, but FHA loans in the region have actually shown an increase over the past couple quarters. We are seeing a strong appetite still among first-time buyers so long as they can afford the market. Airbnb landlords, I would definitely pay attention to properties that need to be listed because they've really been given a beatdown lately. Or maybe you can help manage these properties into long-term rentals instead of short-term. I'd look at sellers wanting to cash out at the top, so to speak. This is a real dynamic, and any way you can help sellers achieve this it makes you very golden. And so, could that be selling in a higher price market than buying in a lower priced one? Could this be selling in California and buying in Idaho? Like, there's a lot of ways to achieve that even locally, and I would definitely brainstorm that and have those options available for the sellers that do want to cash out at a higher price tier. Sell high and buy low, that's the dream. Divorce, we've seen a lot of memes about, after the quarantine is over, but I think that is a very real thing. And so let's be on the lookout to serve those clients. People who need a larger home, okay, they've definitely learned this in quarantine, or sometimes people who want more space and acreage. And so be on the lookout for those who might want to move to Winters or might want to move to an outlying area, or they want, the ranch dream until they figure out that, oh my gosh, 5 acres is a lot of work. Essential versus non-essential, I would definitely consider who are the businesses that are doing really well and who are the ones that are doing, really struggling. Because when we dissect the two, it will give clues into the needs of various groups, okay? And those needs might be very different. And some people might have businesses that are doing extremely well, and maybe you work commercial and you can help those businesses expand, okay? Some people might need to sell their business. Some people might need to sell their home or tap into equity. I mean, there's a lot of different things that people are going to need. Migration out of California. Does anyone know how many state workers there are in our region? So it's a very substantial number. It's somewhere around 75,000 or so. Okay, and that's even some old data. It could be even more now, but that's very significant because we've had the trend of migration. I mean, that's been here for decades, but I think it's more heightened in the media right now. But when a market we've had an 8-year ride where prices have grown, we have this sense where some people might want to check out of their government job, okay, especially as they're going to take 10% pay cuts in July, or if things get bad, imagine if we had mandatory retirement and such, or early retirement. Well, that pension can go a long way in a lower priced area. It can go a long way out of state also. And so I would definitely firm up your relationships with out-of-town realtors, okay? Bay Area migration, that's a huge factor as always. Telecommuting, if more companies like Twitter let their employees work forever, from home, that could influence where people want to live. And so just be on the lookout for that. People moving closer to family, people wanting to downsize and upsize, look for those. Business owners I touched on, investors wanting out of the rental market. I think there's a sense of fatigue, and imagine that that could be inflamed right now because investors having renters who are not paying rent right now, investors who are struggling themselves to pay their mortgages and such because of jobs. So I would watch this closely, or, watch for investors that are just tired of rent control and different things that have happened in our market. And so be on the lookout for that fatigue. There's just a couple more. People wanting to sell a second home to have more cash, or people wanting to get a second home. That desire for quarantine and space. I have friends who are eyeing properties in Placerville, for instance, or Pollock Pines, because they want to have, that cabin dream. Okay, and two more, there's investors doing a 1031 exchange. When a market is up, we tend to see people moving money into the market, okay? And so the question for you is, who is moving money into Sacramento and who is moving money out of Sacramento? Those will help you identify future clients. And last but not least, forbearance. We don't know yet how this is going to impact the market. It's like a pregnancy, okay? We're in this period where we're waiting and we're going to see as time unfolds. But for the advice that you've been giving to clients, I would just strongly recommend, think about people who've been taking your advice, follow up with them over the next few months because they might need you to help them list their home.